Hey everybody, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a collaboration with David from basically Star Wars, and he's an awesome guy that makes awesome videos about Star Wars and other movies, so check him out, link in the description. And today we're talking about Revenge of the Sith and why we like it as much as we do, and why it's like more appreciated now than it used to be before. So yeah, let's get into it.
Hey, what's up guys, my name is David. I run the channel Basically Star Wars, like he said in the intro, and I'm very happy to be here to talk about the prequels, defend the prequels. Yeah, this should be fun, so thank you for having me on.
Okay, before we get into the conversation, the way that I got into Star Wars is basically I didn't like Star Wars for a long time, and then like I didn't know anything about it. So like once I remember I drew like a picture of Darth Vader and Yoda fighting, but they like never fight in Star Wars, so it's kind of weird. And one day I just like wanted to give it a shot, and I watched A New Hope for the first time, and I really liked it. So that's since then I really like Star Wars.
Nice. Yeah, I would love to see Yoda and Vader fight, but
Yeah.
fortunately that doesn't happen.
Well,
My story of Star Wars is pretty cute. We were at a Barnes and Nobles. Well, I was at a Barnes and Nobles with my parents when I was like 3. I turned the corner. There was this big cardboard cutout of Darth Vader, and I get really scared and I start like crying or whatever. I fall on the floor. Whatever I do as a 3-year-old, and my dad tells me that that's Darth Vader. That means nothing to me. But then he tells me about Star Wars, and either that night or the next night or sometime soon, we watch A New Hope. And then for some reason, I only got past like the first 20 minutes, but I kept going in circles and circles, just watching that first 20 minutes. That was enough to get me invested. Finally, I watched the full movie, and then I, watched the rest of the OT, then got to the prequel trilogy, and just been the biggest Star Wars fan since.
yeah, that's a pretty cool story, but it makes more sense than mine because usually a lot of Star Wars fans liked Star Wars for a long time, and I just got into it like I don't know, a few years ago.
Yeah, but that's totally fine.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you in the fandom now.
Yeah. Today we're gonna talk about Revenge of the Sith and why it's more appreciated now and why we like it. So, you can start talking about it.
Well, it is my favorite Star Wars movie, and I know that's like a semi-controversial opinion. I know, like on Twitter and stuff, it is kind of more loved now. But the reason it is my favorite, well, one, it's because it used to be my childhood favorite, but then I kind of got into Empire and A New Hope and Last Jedi, but now I'm back to liking that one the most. Is it the best Star Wars movie? Not in my opinion, but it's really good. Mainly just plain and simple, it's enjoyable. It's really enjoyable. The dialogue is kind of cringy and cheesy, but thankfully the memes kind of make up for that. But then from an actual story standpoint, it's a good story. It's a good story about Anakin, of a tragic and fallen hero going from the Golden Boy Chosen One to Darth Vader. And it's cool seeing the kind of the hypocrisy of the Jedi Order, and while of course the Sith are evil, they have a point, or maybe not the Sith, but like the Jedi who are kind of like against the Order, like that one Jedi who frames Ahsoka in the Clone Wars arc. Like they're not completely wrong. They're doing wrong things, but they're not completely wrong. Like the Jedi Order has kind of lost their way, and Anakin sees that. Palpatine, of course, sees that, and he manipulates Anakin. So there's lots of great story structure in here. It's very well thought out. On top of it, it's just fun. So it's very well written, surprisingly. So yeah, that's kind of why I liked it summed up.
Yeah, I have like those are the same reasons why I like it too. And again, it's like really fun to watch, and it has like the performances are better in this movie. Like Anakin's is way better, and because he him talking is like way better than it was like in Attack of the Clones, because in that one like the way he talked a lot of times was like kind of cringy and was really awkward, but in this one it's like way better and it works better in the movie, so I like that. And also like a lot of like his acting is again way better in this movie because he uses like his body language a lot in this movie, like his facial his face expressions on like how he feels in that scene. So if you get what I mean.
Right.
So yeah.
No, yeah, he definitely improved. I think it's partially because just a better script, but he definitely improves from Attack of the Clones.
And also, this movie has a lot of like memorable and fun lines, like "Hello there" or like "Do it," like from Palpatine mostly, and from Obi-Wan. So that's something I really
Right.
like, and that's where the memes come mostly from. So yeah, that's the thing.
Right. Yeah, it's become a whole culture now. It's like Revenge of the Sith fans. It's like a subsection of memes. It's great. It's really kind of what makes the movie fun. And yeah, I think I have something else to say, but that kind of gets into the appreciation part.
Yeah, and that I don't really like. Also, the performances, as I said earlier, are like way better in this movie because, for example, Obi-Wan, he's always good in these movies, but he's my favorite Star Wars character, and he's my favorite Star Wars character because of this movie mostly because I don't know, I just really like him. He's charming to watch, and he's just a fun and like a fun character to be in Star Wars, and he's done a lot in this movie. So yeah,
Yeah, no, Obi-Wan is great. He definitely is very charming. I love Ewan McGregor. He does a great job
yeah,
playing him. He's like kind of like that. Even like the most vicious prequel haters have to give him credit. So he
yeah.
does a really good job.
That's why I'm really excited for his Disney Plus show because hopefully he's gonna return.
Right, right. Oh yeah, no, he is. We just gotta get a release date.
Yeah. And again, the story is pretty good because the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, the stories they're pretty confusing sometimes because there is a lot of politics which I like, but sometimes I don't understand them fully. So this story is like more makes sense because this story was something that George Lucas wanted to tell for a long time. So it's really fun and it's also tragic. So it's a good combination.
Right, no, that's something good you touched on. Is that this definitely is the story that Lucas wanted to tell, but he had to tell one and two to get here.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Well,
this was more of a passion project.
yeah. I do think that episode one is kind of pointless. Like other people have said that too, because it's not like if I did the prequels, I would have started with basically episode two, where like that's when they met Anakin. So because episode one isn't that pointless, but I mean, episode two is more of a episode one.
Yeah, you're talking about the machete order. I've heard about that. I think episode one has some good ideas, just not executed well.
Yeah.
I would never fully take it out, but maybe during a marathon, I would.
Yeah, me too.
But if we wanted to start like episode two as episode one, I'd be on board for that. I feel like we could get a Clone Wars movie. That would be really cool.
Yeah, because if I made the prequels, the first movie would be about them meeting Anakin, and then at the end of the first movie, the Clone Wars begins, and then in the second movie, it's all about the Clone Wars and you see like Obi-Wan's and Anakin's relationship, and then in the third one, it's basically Revenge of the Sith, just how it is right now.
Right. Right. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I still like the prequels as they are right now. So yeah.
Should we segue into the appreciation part?
Yeah. So
Okay, go ahead.
now we're gonna talk about why we appreciate the prequels and why like a lot of other people appreciate the prequels, mostly Revenge of the Sith more. So one of the reasons I think that people appreciate it more is because of like the sequel trilogy because mostly like The Last Jedi is really controversial and like I don't know, it just like for some reason the sequel trilogy just made people realize how the prequels are much better because George Lucas had a vision of what the prequels would be, and the sequel trilogy was like all over the place.
Yes, exactly. So I agree with that too. As much as I love Force Awakens and Last Jedi, looking at the prequels, it's a structured story with one man's vision. Maybe it's not the best written, but it's still one man's vision. But then my other, not theory, but my other, I don't know what to call it, but my other reason for why I think they're more appreciated now is because they didn't give up on them. There's still prequel content for prequel fans, even though, like, the movies weren't the best received, the era still lit. We got great characters like Ahsoka, we got the Clone Wars show, we got the Clone Wars movie, which wasn't that great,
Yeah.
but we got books, we got stories, we have lore. Like, they're not abandoning the prequels. And I think for prequels fans, and now prequels fans have a voice, like, even though I'm not a big channel, I'm a prequel fan, I try to talk about my love for the prequels as much as possible. You have Star Wars Theory, who's the biggest Star Wars YouTuber, and he's a massive prequel fan, and he's
Yeah.
rallying all the Revenge of the Sith fans. So I think because they didn't give up on the prequels, prequel fans still remain prequel fans. They didn't give in to the hate mob, and now, they have a voice, and people are just loving it more. Plus, I think, like you said, people saw how kind of disjointed the sequel trilogy was, and definitely appreciate that the prequels, at the very least, have consistency.
Yeah, and also Clone Wars was another reason why, like as you said, more people like when they watched the Clone Wars, they just realized how that the prequels were just much better, and they like, for example, the Clone Wars like expanded on Obi-Wan's and Anakin's relationship. So you like when you watch Revenge of the Sith, like the final battle, you care more about these characters and their relationship. So it makes it like better, the prequels.
Yes, absolutely. It just the Clone Wars really fleshes out the prequel, and some people say the defense of you shouldn't have to watch a show to understand a trilogy or appreciate a trilogy, and there is some validity in that. But I'm just happy that the prequels are more fleshed out. So yeah, I mean it's a valid criticism, but I'm just happy they exist.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of true that you should like appreciate the prequels as they are, but it's also nice to have the Clone Wars in like a show to watch after that to
Yeah,
like understand it more.
exactly.
And yeah, and another reason is, in my opinion, is the people that grew up with the prequels are now like older now. They're like probably like grown ups, so they probably use a lot of shows like social medias, and they're like sharing their thoughts on the prequels and how they love them and stuff. So maybe people like just realize that there's a lot of good points that other people have said, and it just changes their minds and they like the prequels.
Right. That too. Like I said, prequels fans are finally like getting their chance to say what they believe and say what they like.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out David from basically Star Wars because he makes awesome videos and he's a big Star Wars fan. So link in the description. And yeah, that's really it. So thanks for watching.